It is The Riot. This is the podcast for Wednesday, February 15th.
Oh, Valentine's Day is over. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their Valentine's Day yesterday.
It's Valentine's Day Boxing Day.
Yeah, I know if there was only a term for that.
Yeah, there should be.
Is there all the sales on candy and TVs that you could possibly want?
Yeah.
You even have post-Super Bowl TV sales, so I'm sure there's lots of stuff out there.
Yeah, if you can find it. Isaiah, did you have this experience yesterday? You said you went to the grocery store, and I know I did.
I did.
And it looked like the pickings already were sparse, and that was on Valentine's Day.
Of the candy and stuff?
Yeah, it seems like Kroger, at least in my area, did a good job of budgeting the proper amount of space for Valentine's. They bought the exact right amount. In fact, maybe not quite enough, because people were panicking yesterday.
I think we went to the same place.
You think so?
I feel pretty confident we did.
Was yours a marketplace?
Yes.
Was
there
How can we say it without giving the address of the Kroger?
I can do it. Is there a place there where is there like a food hall there?
Yes.
Yeah, I was in there. But I definitely went at a different time than you, because I know the seasonal Valentine's Day section of where I went was bare.
Yes,
barren.
it was.
And I've been there for Christmas, and I've been there for Halloween and other holidays, and usually they have a ton of stuff there.
But that's because you're not supposed to wait till Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but it was just impressive that they actually sold all of like the little teddy bears, like everything that they had, they sold.
Because usually, you're right.
There's tons of crap left over.
A bunch of crap left over that would be like 70% off today, but there wasn't. They already had filled it mostly with Easter stuff.
Yep, it was gone.
If you wanted Valentine's Day stuff, you had to go over to where like the deli and stuff was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see all those like bouquets of candy bars that they had a million of those, and they clearly looked to be meant for children. So if you gave that to your wife or something, your girlfriend, she might be a little confused.
Well, if not, if you got a Cadbury egg or something Easter candy-wise, there was nothing else there.
That's all that there was.
So hopefully you guys got something good yesterday and you weren't left out like wherever they were shopping at.
Well, today on the show, we talked about how 2/3 of people have spent time ghosting someone.
Yeah, it sounds like you're making up a lot of the ghosters.
I am a high percentage of those.
2/3 of people admit to being ghosted by Isaiah.
You find out later in life. We're like, well, it's a long list of ladies.
Long list of ghosts.
It's all right.
We also did a little Would You Rather Wednesday, talking about would you rather be the contestant or the lead on The Bachelor or Bachelorette?
Maybe a better question would have been, because I feel like that show's probably still popular, but now there's so many other streaming, dating sort of shows that I feel like that kind of gets more publicity now. Like, don't you like Love Island better?
Yeah, like I don't know because
those are
on
old too.
Those are all like on The Bachelor is one of the main ones that's on TV. Like it's on TV every week.
Yeah.
Where Love Island and a lot of those are all like streaming based.
Yeah.
They're all streaming, which obviously streaming is like just as big as TV is now for the most part for most people. I like Love Island. I like Temptation Island. I haven't checked out Farmer Needs a Wife.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think that's premiered yet.
That's not out yet. I saw it advertised on the Super Bowl, so I'm expecting a large budget there for that.
I feel like any dating show on Fox has a different feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the others.
That's for sure.
Well, I did see the commercial, too. I was like, wow, the farming one is
I
good.
know. I'm like, look at them on the Super Bowl Sunday.
So what about this? And Nikki, I want an answer from you. What if the question was, it's not a would you rather, but which dating type show would you prefer to go on if you had to, gun to your head?
I think I'd like to go on one of those like blind date shows instead.
What's that one called? You know what I'm talking about, where everybody's blind on it? Not actually blind, but like not actually blind.
That would be crazy.
Like what is
that
the
would be
show
a crazy
called?
show.
It's well known.
Blind date? I don't know.
Is it called Blind Date?
No.
You're like, they're not actually.
There is a thing called Blind Date, but there's something else. I forget what it's called.
It's just the one where you meet the person like right then and there.
Yeah.
Not the one where you get married.
Oh,
married
it's
at first
Love
sight.
Love is Blind is the one I was thinking of.
I'm not going to let you pick any more shows.
Love is Blind. What about you, Hudson? Which one would you pick?
Oh, man. I think that Joe Millionaire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Joe Millionaire.
I'll be a millionaire if
But he wasn't, was he? Or was he?
They did some of both.
Oh, he got the $1 million.
Yeah, remember they did one or two where it was a fake millionaire, but I'll pretend to be a millionaire. I think I'd be good at it. I'm very fancy.
Oh, no, you need to be.
I have refined tastes.
You should be undercover boss. Is that still a show?
Now we're just naming random shows. I want to be an undercover boss.
I don't know if it'd be good to try to get a date on Undercover Boss. That feels like that's...
I want to be in the cash cab.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So the better question is, what other show would you rather be in? It's not even a dating one. Well, enjoy the podcast today. There's lots more you can look forward to. And as always, please text in, even if you have a Would You Rather Wednesday question or just something that you want to send us that you found for us to talk about on the show. All you do is text 877 to RadioU, throw in your name and that it's a podcast, and we'll get it.
And we'll move along from here.
Okay. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Catch you tomorrow.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Sure, a lot of people got boxes of chocolates yesterday, but I don't think anybody got a box of chocolates like this, like the one that's actually the box of chocolates from Forrest Gump.
Oh, from the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's movie memorabilia.
Possibly the most iconic box of chocolates of all time, although actually not to look at because I wouldn't have recognized it. Yeah, but when you think box of chocolates, you think Forrest Gump.
Well, that's the line from the movie.
Yeah. And yesterday, Ripley's Believe It or Not purchased the actual box of chocolates from the Forrest Gump movie at auction for $25,000.
All right.
$25,000, the famous box of chocolates from the movie. And the crazy thing about it, although I guess it shouldn't be so surprising, is there's no chocolate inside.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
I mean, the movie came out now close to 30 years ago.
That probably went first. And maybe they ate it when they were actually filming.
Yeah, that's right.
Or was it prop chocolate?
That's nice of you to think that they actually ever had chocolate in this box.
Yeah, that's true.
They say that it was actually... Now, this is interesting. You know how they do with coffee cups and whatever in movies and TV shows.
Empty.
You can always tell they're empty. With this box of chocolates in the movie, supposedly, it wasn't filled with chocolate, but they wanted to make sure that it didn't blow away or that it looked kind of accurate. So although the box was actually marked to be 23 ounces, it was filled with 4 pounds of sand, over 4 pounds of sand.
Why don't you just put chocolate? I mean, I know that it's probably filming and it would melt the chocolate.
Yeah.
It would get like all over the box and the person.
In his pants.
But can't we just, have real stuff in real movies? In the movies?
It is funny. I would like to talk to like the prop people on movies, the lengths they go to simulate.
To mimic.
What you could just easily go buy at a Dollar General or something like that.
I don't understand. It must revolve around the actual filming and it being out for so long and I don't know, for any other reason with it.
Yeah, but I mean, couldn't they also have just gotten fake chocolates that wouldn't melt?
Apparently,
you could do that too. But
that's not what they had at that time.
Sand was more realistic, they thought, more appropriate.
Signed by Tom Hanks, near pristine condition, and it's from the movie.
So now it will go to one of the many Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Have you been to a Ripley's before?
Yeah, I did in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. I had a good time.
I feel like you only have to go to one.
They're not that different? Have you been to multiple?
I went to one. I think it was the Niagara Falls one. Uh-huh. So I think that's on the Canada side.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what? When I went, it was free. And I think I'd do it again for free.
For free?
Yeah, I think I would. It was mildly interesting. And I know they do have different stuff at different Ripley's, so it could be interesting.
So Ripley's, as long as it's free, we're not sure if you have to pay to get in there.
That's not a very good business model when they have to spend $25,000 on this. And then, well, maybe I'll go see it for free. You're not going to make your money back.
It always felt like one of those restaurants that have all the memorabilia in it, too. So nothing too different
Or like
from
a rainforest cafe, kind of.
Yep.
Let me ask this real quick. Did you get chocolates for Valentine's?
I did not.
Did you? Wait, what? You didn't get chocolates?
I didn't get chocolates.
Keto chocolate?
No, well, I don't even, normally each Valentine's Day I don't get chocolates. So that's not normally something I ask for.
Oh, okay. Well, I did go. I stopped by, I already had Valentine's Day locked down with my wife, but I did swing by the store to grab a few more things, and that's a sad state of affairs.
Oh, is it on Valentine's Day?
The grocery store on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
It's panic and sadness.
Well, today's the day to go in case there's any leftovers.
Yeah.
You can get it for cheap.
Don't go to the same Kroger I did. There won't be leftovers.
Oh, they didn't even have any yesterday?
There was some stragglers, but that's what's so sad about it. There was people walking in. Clearly, this was going to ruin their day.
They waited too long.
Yeah. Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news because I like to be positive on the show. It's early in the morning. I want to pump people up and tell them happy stuff. But especially you, Nikki, I hate to bring you down with so much negativity going on in the world. But
I don't have to accept this. I know what you're going to talk about.
I've got bad news. You were so excited that Chick-fil-A was testing a new cauliflower filet sandwich.
You're right.
It looks identical to the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, but instead of being chicken, it is filled with what they call a cauliflower filet.
Yep.
And it is being tested in Denver, Charleston, and in North Carolina. And the reviews are in. Not exactly positive.
I have watched a bunch on TikTok. I've watched a few of these. I landed on that area. And
the algorithm knows you.
It knows me well because I would love to try it. I love a deep fried cauliflower. Always have. I will take it over chicken. Like, I have no problem.
Yeah, which is crazy.
This one person reviewed it and they're like, it's just breading. I was like, and the negative is?
Yeah, that doesn't sound so bad, actually.
I will still take it.
Yeah. The top negative that I'm seeing here from all these ladies, it seems. I don't see any dudes that have gone ahead and at least not included here. But they all seem to say that they thought it would be cheaper than what it is. You're talking, they say if you just order the sandwich alone, $7.19 pre-tax.
$7
for only a cauliflower sandwich.
That's expensive, but sometimes, you wish when you have an alternative, you're like, hey, it's not even chicken. How can it be? Surely cauliflower's cheaper than chicken.
You would think.
That's not the case.
There's no cauliflower shortage. There's no cauliflower flu that we know of. So the cauliflower is in high supply and low demand.
But then that doesn't mean if they're all grumbling about the $7 price tag, that's not necessarily everybody grumbling about the taste of it.
No, but the reviews are also not saying that, oh, it tastes great, it's just too expensive. The reviews are like, maybe, and these are people that are going because they're expecting that they will like it because they're cauliflower people.
Well, sometimes your decision can be swayed when you're mad about the price.
That's right.
So you're expecting more from it and you're not getting it.
Yeah. Well, you got to take into account, too, it's Chick-fil-A. They're not exactly the cheapest fast food. And so they have to price it in line with the menu because if they made the Chick-fil-A cauliflower sandwich $5 cheaper than every other thing on the menu, all of a sudden everybody would be ordering. No, I can't. Don't believe what I'm saying there. No, that's a lie. Nobody would order it still. But I don't know. You just expect it's Chick-fil-A. You expect when Chick-fil-A comes out with something. When we heard about when they announced this, I think they said they'd been working on it for 4 years. You expect that it's going to be blowing people away. And again, I feel like every time for a while you would get like the Beyond whatever is at this restaurant, and you'd get people rushing to the restaurant and they couldn't wait to tell you how great it was, almost like they were trying to convince themselves. But now we finally reached the point where Chick-fil-A, nobody's trying to convince us of anything.
Listen, blow it on over here. I would be fine with it.
You'll be fine paying
I will give you a glowing
price tag.
Doesn't matter. I'll give you a glowing review. A lot of people are just saying, why doesn't Chick-fil-A just do a meat alternative? Like the Beyond Meat instead of using cauliflower. But no, I like cauliflower.
Yeah, sometimes, and like we've had the Beyond Meat, I know that it's better than, I'm sure that it would taste better than the cauliflower. I'm positive of that. But it's also not the same. And that, you want to talk about expensive. That
would be a lot.
Expensive.
It'd be beyond expensive.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
We can't top that.
That's it.
Hudson and Isaiah seem like they know a lot about sports, yet somehow it's Nikki that always gets it right. The Riot, Radio U.
Not everybody watches the Super Bowl. That's it's a known fact. I know that because there are multiple people in this very building that didn't watch the Super Bowl and told me so. One of them was Tyler. Mm-hmm. He was here working, but that he also said he wouldn't have watched it anyway. So
it's not for everybody.
But there's it's a difference though between, oh, I was busy, or, oh, I didn't get invited to a party and I don't care, so I had a quiet night in. That's what Chris, our engineer, did. But instead, there's a big difference between that and what this guy did. Have you seen the photo going around? It's what appears to be a JetBlue flight. Every seat has the TV on the back of it. Mm-hmm. And every TV on that plane has the Super Bowl on. Except one.
One person?
And that one person doesn't just not have the Super Bowl on. They have the 2005 Will Smith movie, Hitch.
What a
Good movie.
What a weird choice.
Out of all the things.
Is that you?
You know what? Maybe he had big plans when he was getting off the plane. He was trying to prep for his
Pump
date.
himself
That's a good
up.
idea.
Yeah, get some good dating advice.
Now, I can see, because sometimes when I'll watch like the Super Bowl or a football game, I'm bad. Like I might have something on my phone, like maybe just something else going on around.
Okay, so
maybe,
you can't pay full attention to either.
Yeah.
Good strategy.
I like to divide my attention. So maybe he felt like every other screen he could still, out of the corner of his eye, pay attention to the game, but he wanted to still also have something else on.
What do you make of it, Isaiah? I mean, you like the movie.
I mean, the movie's good.
It's a solid movie.
I think that had a better ending than the Chiefs-Eagles game did, but I think, football's not your thing. Football's not your thing. I get it. I think if you're flying during the Super Bowl, you probably don't care much about the game, because I can't imagine myself flying during a game that I would want to watch. So.
How come every flight I'm on doesn't have these screens on the back of the seat?
That's what I was thinking.
You don't fly JetBlue.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I've been on lucky enough to be on a few flights like this, and is it a blessing?
Is it nice
to have the screens on the back of the seat?
No offense, Southwest. No offense.
Yeah.
You'd think by now they'd have this figured out. I mean, having a little TV screen on every single flight doesn't seem like that much to ask
And
for.
they can charge you more for it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Why don't they just put it on every plane?
Southwest is just like, well, use your phone anyway.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't know. I get, especially because everybody else in the plane has the Super Bowl on. You can easily glance.
The seat
over,
right
see
next
what's
to him
happening.
does. You know,
but it's the fact that he's watching Hitch, a movie that's nearly 20 years old, and somebody pointed out
Like he chose that.
And there's you haven't. If it's 20, it's now. You're not watching Hitch for the first time. Either you are never watching it in your life, or you've seen it before.
What if it's his favorite movie? And he's like, wow, I haven't seen this in a while. I want to watch it.
Glad to see it. Glad to discover it. I forgot about this one.
Now this poor guy is just being made fun of.
Yeah, well, at least it's a dark plane. Nobody knows who he actually is, so he's going to get off without a hitch. But it is. I just thought that it's just the movie choice that rubs me the wrong way. You know, watch something else if you don't want to watch the Super Bowl. Pop a podcast on. Listen to RadioU. You can do something. But the idea that you would watch Hitch over the Super Bowl
drives you crazy.
It looks super defiant. It's like when your parents tell you to just do something, but you're defying them so hard that you do the exact opposite. That's what he's doing here with Hitch. He's like, you know what? I don't want to watch the Super Bowl so bad that I'll even put on a movie from 2005.
He took a real hard stance on this one.
You're only seeing like 5 or 6 rows, so like it could be there's others in the plane, but for these rows, everybody else is watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, good for him taking a stand. You know, anti-football
and pro Hitch.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else, and that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Nikki, I wanted to talk about your stepping situation.
Yeah.
How's that going?
We're going good. We are trying for 10,000 steps a day.
Mm-hmm.
I was realistic over the weekend. I was out of town.
Okay.
And I was like, well, let's just do 8 to 10,000. So,
a reasonable goal.
So far, my reasonable goal of 8 to 10,000 steps has been more obtainable.
Nice.
And we're doing good. I just have to remember to get up and just walk around.
Yeah, I was wondering because you mentioned it earlier today, and I was thinking like maybe you have been getting up slightly less during the show.
I got to get back up.
Yeah, well, use this as motivation for you. But I don't know. I was just thinking that like when it comes to a goal like that, it's one of those things where you don't see any results instantly, right? Like sometimes I plan stuff out, especially when it comes to working out
and
saving money, where you go like, well, if I start doing this and I save like 5 cents a day, then by the year 2085, I should have $50 or something like that. And then when you lay it out like that, you're like, oh, this is not worth it.
Or if you're doing 10,000 steps a day, your result is that you're more tired.
Yeah,
and
that's
you feel
right.
That.
And yeah, you just, you don't see the results right away. You map it out. It's like, well, I've got to do this thing that is important to do, but I probably won't reap any rewards from it for a while. That's really tough. And then that's what gets in the way of me a lot of times going through with positive changes in life, because it's like, it'll be so long before I ever see any of it anyways. What's the point?
That's why a lot of us give up usually at like earlier steps.
That's right. Or so early on, or maybe never even get started in the first place. But I want to let you know that those kind of things are important. If you can stick with it, it works out. And that's why God wants to help you. He wants to help you make the little changes every day that eventually over time snowball into a much better life. It's not easy to stay motivated on your own. It's not always easy to know what the right thing to do is on your own all the time, but God wants to help you with that. Jesus cares, Jesus knows, and he's ready to help you with that motivation, that encouragement that you need so that you can make those small choices every single day that add up to eventually things going a lot better for you. If you're ready for that, God is ready for that. Start talking to him. Say, hey, Jesus, I want some help. I want some motivation. I want some encouragement. I want to know you love me, and I want you to, keep me on the right path here. And he'll do it for you. If you want to know more, RadioU.com/free gift.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
But now that we've passed Valentine's Day, I think we can move on to ghosting season.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, that's where you, if somebody lets you down on Valentine's, you just ghost them.
Oh,
leave
what a
them wondering.
holiday.
Yeah, but some people just don't meet expectations, you know.
So if you did not get what you wanted yesterday, it wasn't enough, or it wasn't what you were wanting, and you're ready to break up with the person, it's called ghosting season now.
I'm just making that up, but
sounded good.
Sure, I think it's worthy of a news article.
Is that
now.
with Mardi Gras?
You don't want to tie yourself down before that. No, I do have new research here that says that for now, 2 out of 3 people say they have ghosted someone and been ghosted themselves.
Yeah.
So ghosted people ghost people, it sounds like. Have you guys ever been ghosted?
Isaiah?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely ghosted. Nikki?
I have ghosted.
You're a ghoster.
I really don't like conflict. So to me, I would prefer someone just ghost me and not tell me what the issue is. And so that's what I've done to others, because I don't want to have the big conversation of why it's not working anymore.
You think they could debate you into changing your mind?
Oh, I just don't
Or not
even-
actually changing your mind, but
I just don't even
That's
want
Making you
to.
say, I'll keep texting you.
yeah,
I
exactly.
just don't even want to have the conversation.
Yeah, that's probably it, in your situation. That's
Maybe
the right
it's
thing
best,
to do.
yeah.
What about? Well, you say you've been the ghoster, Isaiah. Have you been the ghoster?
I have ghosted.
Yeah.
Yay.
Now, how does it make you? I guess I want to go back. How does it make you feel to get ghosted?
It just depends on who it was. Some people I'm like, meh.
Some it's a relief.
Other people, yeah, it just depends. It all depends on who the person is. Sometimes I'm like, that stinks. Other times I'm like, I don't really mind. Sometimes I don't even notice. And so it just depends on who it is.
Well, what about this? How long does somebody have to go with not responding to you before you realize you've been ghosted?
No, I think it only would take a week or so, depending on how
whole
close.
week?
Depending on how close you were.
Yeah.
It just depends on the relationship, I think.
Yeah.
It could be 24 hours. It could be 48 hours. Sometimes
I
72
feel like
hours.
48.
Could be a couple
You're
of
just
months.
listing times now.
It could be 12 hours. 2 weeks.
What do you want him to say?
Yeah, I don't
Hudson?
know. I just
Lots
didn't
of
know if
different
there was
times.
a cutoff, but I feel like 48 to 72 hours feels about right. I'll tell you, I couldn't ever go through with the ghosting. I couldn't do it. I'm too polite.
You get your first one down. It's easy after that.
No, I'm
it's
too
fine.
polite.
No,
Even if it's a bad date or something, I could never
I think you'd better at it than
get
you realize.
myself to do it. I had
could do
to.
it.
No, I couldn't bring myself. I always had to eventually scare the woman away. But I could never be the one to do the breaking up. Every
Is
date
that
would
booing?
end
No.
a polite handshake and I'll see you next time. But I could never just pull
Just
the
ghost?
plug. Yeah, I could never ghost.
See, I think once you do it once, then it just rolls off the tongue. I've got like 49 unopened messages right now. and I'm just refusing to even look at them.
When you put it that way, I've never intentionally ghosted somebody, but maybe sometimes I'm really bad at answering texts, so maybe someone out there right now is going, "You definitely ghosted me." And actually, they could be right about that.
They'll come back to haunt you.
I didn't ghost you. I just accidentally ignored you because you weren't a priority.
This study, they said that breaking up is a negative experience. I mean, none of us will argue that. But those that yearn for closure are the ones that are most upset. And I feel like I don't really care if there's not closure or not. I'd just rather not have the conflict to get to the closure.
Yeah.
So ghost away.
I mean...
I was going to say the worst is when they like call you out for ghosting. Then when they text you and they're like, "Oh, you're a ghoster," and I'm like, "I guess so." And then you don't reply to that one either. You don't reply to that one either.
Then you're just giving them what they want.
Exactly.
And it's sometimes easier if they're just mad at you.
Yeah.
I just let it go.
Easier.
Yeah, and then maybe that gives them the closure.
Yep.
Accusing you of being a ghoster, which you are. I get that. I don't know. I think that's the closure you need sometimes. It's just to be ignored.
Everybody's different. Everybody's takes are different with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like ghosting it's not as shocking, and it's more the common practice than it used to be.
Yep, it's one thing's for sure. Ghosting, here to stay.
You could be a nice ghoster. Again, like if you think
now, how do you do that?
Now, let's just...
I don't know if there's different forms.
Yeah. Let her keep talking.
Hang on, walk with me. So like if you know that it's better for you and this person to just ghost, then you do that. If it's not, then you have to be grown up enough to have a conversation with them.
Fair.
But for a lot of people, ghosting is just enough. Like, what are you going to do? Call them? Like, we can't
Fair.
do phone calls.
Yeah. All of a sudden, if somebody ghosts you and you don't let it go, all of a sudden you're the crazy one.
You're the crazy one. You're for sure the crazy
But
one.
like, if you've been together for 10 years, like, you're not ghosting then.
Well, unless you look at the TikTok that I posted the last time we talked about ghosting. And one guy's like, "My wife was married to me for 10 years and ghosted me." But then the guy admitted it was his fault.
Okay, well then that's
Love
good.
TikTok.
Your For You page would be a lot more fun if it had Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah. Follow at RadioU Official on TikTok. The Riot. Radio U.
We have some big details here on Ted Lasso. You ready for a new season?
Yeah, so what was it that was... Oh, it was the collab with Build-A-Bear.
Yep.
That
Ted
was
Lasso
it.
Build-A-Bears.
There's a Ted Lasso Build-A-Bear collaboration collection. And we were like, oh, well, that must mean a new season would be coming soon.
Yeah.
Because the promotion would be kind of odd on its own.
Just, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But,
like Ted Lasso's a popular series, but I feel like it was way popular a bit ago.
Yeah, but that's because they haven't done episodes. It's been a little while, but we now have a teaser trailer for the new season, and we have a release date for the new season. The new season of Ted Lasso, season 3, coming to Apple Plus. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm. December. No, just kidding.
You know what? Why do I have to actually? The story says that I have to. Here we go. March 15th.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
coming right up here.
Well, it's too late. I haven't watched the first 2 seasons, so I can't catch
haven't
up.
either. So this is what I'm wondering. That's not that many seasons, right? And I don't think they're like.
Well, it's 2, and I bet you they don't have many episodes.
That's what I'm thinking. So we could catch up. So what I'm wondering is, what would it take to convince you to watch Ted Lasso at this point?
Does anybody know how many episodes it is before I commit to something?
Yeah. Well, I'm not asking you to commit. I'm just saying. Okay, let's say it's 20 episodes total.
Okay. Are they
What would it
half
take?
hour? Are they hours?
Half hour.
Half hours.
Ted Lasso better be a half hour.
I could do it in a weekend.
Yeah. You could definitely. You could knock that out. So what would it take for you to do that?
A gift card.
How could you be convinced? It's nothing that Ted Lasso could do.
No,
somebody would have to pay you.
It would honestly just have to. Sometimes I just get in a spurt where you're like, oh, I just want to suddenly watch it. And I prefer if everything's out at that point. So you could just kind of rush through it all.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So in other words, you're saying Ted Lasso took just the right amount of time to put out a new season to where now you won't watch it. Because if it was longer, it would have felt like it was done, and you might have watched the first 2 seasons.
Listen,
because you felt like that's all there was.
Anyone in Hollywood, if they had a meeting with me to try to figure out,
they'd be frustrated.
they would hate me.
They would,
because I don't follow any of the normal traditional show rules, and I just don't watch a lot.
You are an enigma wrapped in a mystery to the folks in Hollywood.
I'm frustrating.
But I think I am too.
Send me a bear.
Yeah.
Send me a Build-A-Bear.
Ted Lasso Build-A-Bear with the mustache and everything. I was thinking, now believe this or not, Nikki, I was really having a dalliance in my mind with the idea of watching Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Because I knew the new season was on the way, and I thought I could catch up on that. There's a lot of hype around it.
Well, what do you need then?
And well, here's the thing. What I needed first was an Apple TV Plus subscription. I know I could find Ted Lasso somewhere online, but that's not right. So I needed an Apple TV Plus subscription, which I would not pay for. But with my Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, do you get one?
They're offering me now a 3 free-month trial. And not only was I considering Ted Lasso, there's also a new show on there called Shrinking with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford.
Oh, maybe.
I thought maybe 2 shows would be worth it to sign up for a free thing. And then I saw this trailer for Ted Lasso.
Is it not good?
It's not me.
Aww.
Here's what I think Ted Lasso is. Maybe it'll be successful either way, but you know what it looks like? It looks like a show on NBC I would never watch.
Oh, that.
If it was on NBC, I would not care about it. I wouldn't even feel pressure to watch it. I think I feel pressure because it's on a streaming service.
NBC doesn't know what to take of your comment, but I think that's Hudson insulting it.
Yes, it is. It feels like it's in a long line of NBC shows trying to capture what The Office and Parks and Rec had. To me, is what it looks like, and none of them could. And I don't think
so.
Ted
We're not going to have Ted Lasso night, you and I.
No, I'm done. I've given up on Ted Lasso. I've given. The ship has sailed.
Well, if anybody says, no, Hudson, you have it wrong.
I know. Great. People are going to tell me.
People love it. Or, as always, if anything else is better, could you please suggest something else that we would actually
Shrinking is worth watching, let me know. I might still get
something with Harrison Ford and the one guy from How I Met Your Mother. Okay.
From How I Met Your Mother, that's what you think of him?
And the Muppet stuff?
Exactly.
Okay,
now you're starting to see why I'm interested, aren't you?
I do. I know you like that stuff.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on RadioU.
You can text in for Would You Rather Wednesday, where you can text in your opinion on today's question. You can also text in a future Would You Rather for us at 8772-RADIO-U, like John did.
Would you do our work for us for next week?
Yeah, that's right. John, though, is responsible for this question. He texted it in. He says, would you rather be the contestant, be one of the many contestants, or the lead on The Bachelor? As in, would you rather be the Bachelor / Bachelorette, or would you rather be one of the many, many contestants on the show?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Is it tough for you?
Well, I'm going to lean towards Isaiah on this since he watches it.
That's obviously why John had this on his mind, I'm sure, is all the Bachelor talk we do with Isaiah. So, Isaiah, share your expertise.
I don't know.
It's a tough call.
What I would pick. I go back and forth.
Have you actually tried, or are you just always teasing when you said that?
There's been times where I've looked, but I have not yet auditioned or tried to sign up. Obviously, had I'd be on there.
I feel like you need to become a contestant in order to then be picked as one of the Bachelorette people.
That's right.
So I think one has to come first anyways.
You need to have some
be
necessary experience.
Yeah, usually there's been a couple people who haven't been like a contestant that have been the Bachelor or Bachelorette, but usually it is a previous contestant.
Aren't they former football players?
Yeah, usually.
They use that loosely, though.
Yes, very loosely.
Yes, I played for the San Jose Biscuits of the PFWL.
It was a minor league.
Yeah. So do you have a way you're leaning, contestant?
I went back and forth because I think that for me, I would be better as a contestant. Mm-hmm. Because then at the end, you might not have to get married, you know? you could just be like famous for a little bit. But I think the good thing is if you are like the main guy, if I was the Bachelor, then you for sure are like famous. Like you're for sure. But if you're not, if you're just a contestant, you could get knocked out the first night.
And then no one will know.
And then no one will know. Like a lot of the girls, like I was looking, girls that have already been X-nayed on this season, like they did not like grow, like their profiles didn't even grow. Like some of them have as many followers as like we do, and we're on TV and did the whole Bachelor thing. And so for them, like they went on the show, they were there for the first night, they got cut, they essentially didn't get any screen time on TV. So for some of them that were looking for fame, didn't even get that much. But I mean, if you're Zach, who is the Bachelor this year, I mean, he obviously is super famous.
So you're doing it.
Now,
so you're coming at all from the fame perspective.
Yeah, I think so.
I want you to understand that you're saying super famous, but you also don't know that's in a bubble. That's in the Bachelor
but
bubble.
like, I mean, he has like 100,000 followers on Instagram. From here on out, his life with that set up there is pretty much just set. Like you're never gonna be poor. You're never gonna be poor. Like if you have $100,000 on or followers on Instagram, he can forever just like promote things on Instagram and just make money off.
He can live off that and probably start a car dealership somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. If you're the Bachelor, I think
get in
you'll
on
be
a few business ventures.
Yeah.
I was gonna make fun of you for not doing it from a perspective of finding love, but then again,
I don't think anybody does.
Nobody seriously actually expects that.
Well, let's get your guys' opinion for the Would You Rather Wednesday. Would you rather be a contestant on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette? Or I guess
one of 30.
Any of those sort of dating competition love shows. Or would you rather be the actual main one they're vying for the love and attention
and
of?
Have 30 people fighting over you.
With the world watching.
8772 Radio U. Text in your answer, and I've definitely got my opinion coming up next.
While Isaiah is wishing for a girlfriend, Nikki and Hudson are just wishing for any friend at all. The Riot. Radio U.
Today is Would You Rather Wednesday on the show, and our question was submitted by John, who texted in and asked, would we rather be the Bachelor or Bachelorette, or would we rather be a contestant? Yeah, so on the show. So Isaiah sounds like he's leaning contestant.
Yeah. Probably contestant.
You're like,
probably.
It's not that hard.
You can tell that he's really thought about it, but also that he's still not quite sure. For Nikki, do you have an answer?
Well, as someone who's not watched as much, but I think I get the basic concept for Bachelor, Bachelorette stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like you still have a better chance if you were a contestant and you did enough to like be known for that, and then hopefully down the line continue your time in Hollywood or on TV with becoming a Bachelor or Bachelorette, or like Dancing with the Stars. Something like that. So I think I'd rather be a contestant.
Yeah. I'll tell you that Rachel texted in and she says everything about being on The Bachelor or Bachelorette sounds terrible. And so she is going off the board and choosing helping with craft services.
Oh, that's
nice.
That's an excellent idea.
She says she could help out with the feeding the emotional and hangry contestants.
Nice.
That's not a bad one.
Or do you think they not let anybody eat anything on the show? Aw, maybe.
I imagine they have spit buckets or something.
Something like that.
For me, this is something I've referenced when we talk about The Bachelor before. I think I would choose being a contestant. And the first reason why is I think I'd be good at not getting eliminated. I don't think I would win, but I'd be good at not being the worst, which means I'd get to stick around every time.
I think you stick around more, though, in like, again, your career if you don't win the main thing.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't think I would win. I think I'd just be able to hang around for a lot of episodes because the Bachelorette would not hate me. She would never hate me enough as much as some of the other guys. And I'm ultra competitive, so it might bring out the best in me to really have to strive to stick around in there. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Also, I'd be terrible at being the Bachelor because I wouldn't have the heart to tell anybody to go home. As much as I might hate them,
Yeah.
I'm too polite. I'm too caring. I'm too nice.
You know,
Have
maybe
too
I would
much
be
of
a good
heart.
bachelor.
Yeah. You're just
You'd be-
kicking people to the curb.
You'd be 10 episodes in and there's still like 30 women.
That's how it'd be
Hudson's
for
like, I
me.
can't let anyone go.
Meanwhile, Isaiah would ghost them all. So
Yeah.
I'd be like, for whatever reason, there's only a couple left here. And
They'd
he's like,
have,
"Hey."
they'd have to talk to you and be like, you have to send someone home. And you're like, no, we could all be friends.
Everyone gets a rose. Everyone gets a rose.
yeah, we're gonna have to buy. We're gonna need another shipment of roses here. So that's where I stand on that.
I think that's a nice, responsible, mature, nice, kind response.
I know myself. I know
Yeah.
myself.
Well, if you guys have any thoughts or if there's a Would You Rather Wednesday question you'd like to ask for next week, definitely send it in. You never know, we might feature it.
8772 Radio U.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Check this guy out. His name is Ed Berthold. He's from the Chicago area. He is now 103 years old.
Oh, wow.
And he's celebrating a big accomplishment for him, or just like an interesting
Which is living
feat.
to 103.
Yeah, right. That's interesting enough on its own, but it's also crazy that at 103 years old, Ed still enjoys bowling.
Aww.
He's been bowling for 80 years.
Wow. Did you watch the video?
No, I
It's
actually
all-
didn't. Is he
it's
still
all
got a pretty
older
good
people?
swing?
It's
I bet he
literally-
sucks.
It's all older people just like throwing the ball, and it looks fun.
Yeah, I'm a fan of bowling. It says
Bowling's
that
fun.
It says that he picked up bowling. Now this makes the story even more interesting. He was a bomber pilot during World War II, and his flight crew was holed up in Iceland for a month waiting on replacement parts, and so they killed time by bowling on the ice
That sounds
in
like
Iceland.
Sounds like a real man right there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a real story.
And so that's how he got started.
Where it's like I started on Wii Sports. When I-
And it just went from there.
and Switch Sports now, and that's it.
And 80 years later, he's still doing it, still living and still loving bowling. So here's my question for you guys and anybody listening as well. Text in at 8772 Radio U. When you're 103, what are you going to look back on and go, I've been doing this for 80 years?
Oh, I don't
Or
know.
what will you be in the news for? Somehow, 103-year-old Nikki.
I feel
still-
like
Hopefully something more entertaining than this. That's what I'm
Oh,
hoping
boy,
for.
yeah,
that's pretty
thanks.
impressive.
If I'm in the news for bowling, I'd be like, this is not a story.
But I think that our generation like stopped doing things.
Stopped having
like,
hobbies?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
what
we
are you
don't
gonna be good
have
at?
hobbies.
So it'll be 103-year-old Nikki still celebrating 80 years of looking at TikTok.
Well, I mean, send my award then.
Somehow you found something less impressive than bowling to be doing for 80
Literally.
years.
I think once we get older and we like stop working and whatnot, then we'll get hobbies. We have to.
You think so?
Because what else are you gonna do? Like I guess you could sit on TikTok all day, every day. But right now we're like working and doing things.
Yeah.
I feel like once you like retire, you have to have a hobby.
Are
or
we
else
really?
what
So
are you
you-
doing?
so
Are
you
we
don't-
working?
I mean, I'm working. I'm here for 8 hours.
You don't have like something like he started when he was 23. You're just over 23. What have you been doing for the last 3 years consistently?
Gosh, there's
3
nothing.
years
What
consistently.
hobby? What anything?
It could only be a sport.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
like
I mean,
golfing or something.
Watching
Yeah.
TV, going on walks. That's what, you know what mine would be. Mine's easy. I think you guys are missing what the obvious choice is, and that is for me doing this.
The radio career.
When I'm 103 years old, they're going to be like, somehow Hudson celebrates 80 years of being on, actually by that time, even more than 80 years of being on the radio, because until somebody pries this mic from my cold, dead 104-year-old hands,
not
Jeez, Radio
rolling
U does
over.
not have a good future here. When 103-year-old Hudson's on here,
I'm going to be
still talking.
doing this somewhere, and until somebody forcibly stops me,
Well,
because
I
I've
don't-
got stuff to say.
I still don't know if all that still sounds as cool as this guy's story.
I
So.
know, he's
yeah.
bowling.
Congratulations to him. I always think bowling's fun. I mean, we would go a couple times when it was like in gym class,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
Yeah, I just suck at it.
Aw,
I'm not very good
Yeah.
either. I'm just okay.
You can put the things up.
We should do a riot
And then they
outing
bump
of
off.
where we actually go bowling in real life.
We could
Not
try.
Wii bowling, and see who sucks the most.
I would just then in real life try to bowl like I bowl in Wii. Switch sports. Like I would just try to twist your hand and I'd bring the remote so
Well,
I'm
you-
comfortable.
You don't stand a chance.
I'm not gonna make.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.